Okay, had some thoughts and then it kind of got raced. But I got them back. There's some weirdness that's going on, basically, and of course we see it all over the place. But this is something that I've noticed. It's a bit odd. My car, is out of the air conditioning. It needs some Freon or whatever. So, and it's in the summer, so I'm used to sweating, and I really like over the last 3, 4, 5 years. Like, it was one winter I kept my door pretty much open all night long. Sleep today, keep the door open, totally open, and it was cold that winter. So, in the 50s was comfortable for me. Here that would be kind of cold for me. But what I've noticed is it doesn't matter, I don't get out that much, but when I do, it's hot. I try to do it in the morning, and I sweat. And you go into these stores and stuff, and I don't wear the mask and whatnot, and but I end up a sweaty mess. Now, if any of y'all can remember when you would go into a store, even if you didn't have air conditioning in your car, because a lot of people didn't, years ago, you go in there even to get a Coke and walk around and cool off. So if you're in a store for an hour, you'd be cooled off. Now, what's been happening is, and it kind of happened, I realized it today, because I had to go out of town. I went, my town, whatever, my little bitty bubble. That's what I did. I went to the dollar store, went in and bought a bunch of stuff, put it in my car, come back in there, bought a bunch of stuff, again, getting stocked up again, put it back in my car. Went to the post office and then went to the beer store, got stocked up there, and kind of thing. But the other day when I went, and because of Michael, and the picnic table disappeared, we went, he had air conditioner. He was in a vehicle with some really good air conditioner, and by the third store, which everything was like pretty much, you're talking about a small town, so you're talking about within everything, all these stores were within a quarter mile, half mile at that, at the least. And I was in Berkshire's for about an hour. So I was actually less sweaty when I got out of the vehicle and went into Berkshire's than I was an hour later. Now, what's weird about this is nobody, and I got to notice that nobody else around me seems to be sweating like I am. It's like I'm allergic to these fucking stores. And I was talking to my friend just went, and as I was talking, pieces started to be like dink, 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 dink kind of thing. And it's got me really wondering if anybody else is experiencing this, because you've got people in masks, and I look around and they're not sweaty. I'm not wearing a mask, and I'm like, my hair ends up becoming drenched. I mean, it looks like I got out of the shower by the time, I'm doing this with my hat, trying to, by the time I'm at the checkout, trying to grab a hold and pull up, the sweat and stuff. And, trying not to do this, which I do that, and fuck them, I don't care, it's all a big fucking joke anyhow, a big observance. But what is going on there? I mean, evidently, maybe, am I having like an allergic reaction to something that's in the air? Well, Not to throw shit out there, but it makes me wonder, why am I reacting to that shit like that? Like I say, with my car with no air conditioner, I can see it. It's in the summer, it gets freaking hot. By 10 o'clock in the morning, it's freaking hot. But if I'm in an air conditioner car and I'm going to town, why am I so hot? Now, I was even in a store with Mike in the Berkshires, and I was like, are you hot? I'm like, why is it so hot in here? Does it feel hot in here to you? And I'm just like doing this constantly. I'm like, again, it's just an observance. But I'm just kind of wondering if anybody else is going through this kind of stuff where they walk in without a mask, knowing the way this place is, knowing this reality is not real, knowing the Mandela effect, knowing everything that we know, knowing and watching the freaking continents and everything else change, and watching shit appear, disappear, watching body changes, watching every fucking thing that we observe, and try to fucking figure out here that there's no definitive answer on. Is anybody else going through this where they go in and they don't get cooler when they go into a store? It's like I'm in an oven. It's like I'm in a fucking oven, because by the time, used to, like say, if you had a car without air conditioning, you go in a store, if everyone would go into Safeway or Berkshires or whatever, Harvest Foods or all them grocery stores are kept cool. So after an hour, I should not walk out of that store after checking out and be drenched. I should be fluffy. I should not be drenched. But it's backwards here, and it's backwards fucking place, so it's just something I'm wondering about. And it's an observance. And is there something to it? I don't know. Is there not something to it, and it's just me? Maybe. Does make me question, though. It really does. Love you.